This week on the Analog Circle podcast, golly, Nintendo finds themselves in a little bit of hot water after continuing to brick consoles. More news has come out about what Insomniac Games is working on, including what game will release next. Xbox, whoa! They have been in a lot of trouble lately, and things aren't looking so good over there, including studio shutdowns, canceled projects, and layoffs. Oh, we will discuss. And according to reports, PlayStation games are coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, you thought that it coming to Xbox was as bad as it gets? Oh man, it could be getting a lot worse. But all of these stories can be found here and a lot more in episode 263 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Keon Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Come on in, sit down and relax, because we're going to have a great conversation today. And if you are traveling, hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, if you want to be a part of listener feedback, and shout out to you, Cody Clark, I got your emails. But if you want to join brother Cody Clark in the next episode of listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in, and the phone number is 667-284-9057, and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is simply the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Now, before we officially get started, I am curious to know, have any of you guys heard of a game called The Expanse: Osiris Reborn? If you haven't, golly, you need to check that out on YouTube. And just to give you a bit of a snippet, let's go over some of it right now.
Zafar, did you get a signal?
After the large haul down this corridor, they shut down this part of the facility. Long time before our arrival.
Fine. Let's deal with those guys first.
In Yolota. They never look up. Zafar, you were right. They shut down this...
Wait!
Yolota! I need backup!
Hold on, I'm coming!
I'll cover you.
Thanks.
I can't see shit from here.
The bird up high shall be thine eyes.
Man, that's all you need to know. Doggone, check out the Expanse trailer for yourself. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. If you are a Mass Effect fan, this has Mass Effect written all over it. It looks fantastic. I can't believe I missed this game during Summer Game Fest. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into what we all come here for. And that is no doubt, and we got a ton of it, the gaming news that went down. Now I got this first story to start us off from the Game Post. So we got to start off with a little bit of rumors.
Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day.
Now, this rumor comes from a conversation on Twitter. Now, a user named @man, I'm a butcher this good brother's name, but his name is Omar Abdullah Zizik. It's spelled, man, listen, it's spelled OmarAbdulazizk. Yeah, I want to hear you pronounce that correctly if you can. But this brother made a post that said, and I quote, "A major PlayStation exclusive is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. It's an exclusive that was released in this generation," end of quote. Now, that's interesting enough by itself, but that's when true gaming journalist Omar Alamodi came out and he said, and I quote, "more than one exclusive," end of quote. Now, just for context, True Gaming is a leading Arabic gaming outlet. So this guy does have a little bit of stature, possibly as it may be. Now, whoa. Now, I do have to put this thing a little in perspective. Now, it was never said whether these games would be coming from Sony's first-party exclusive lineup or if this would include second and third-party titles. This is the thing. Now, we already know what happened with H-Divers 2 this week. That Joker is coming over to Xbox.
Move this man!
God, dog. Oh, man. We're going to talk about Sony. Oh, these jokers. Man, that is wild. That is absolutely wild. For people that are sitting there saying, "Oh, man, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine." Brothers.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
I'm telling you, don't believe it. But we're going to get to Sony a little bit later. But let's focus on this story at hand right now. Now, it's talking about this game has released in this generation. Could it be a situation of not only is H-Divers 2 going over to Xbox, but could this game be coming over to doggone Nintendo? What would you say if this game actually was released? And I do mean in all of its glory on Nintendo.
What did he say?
I mean, goodness gracious, we are living in a glitched gaming matrix right now. I am absolutely appalled by some of the news that I've heard this week, but how interesting would it be that Nintendo, out of everybody, Nintendo, Sony, these guys are your ops. I mean, the definition of what an op is. It's because of Nintendo we even have PlayStation. The way Nintendo booked off on Sony at the last minute. Oh, man. I mean, they twisted that knife real deep inside of Sony with that one. So, I mean, it's already been. And I know I actually turned a bit of a blind eye to it, but now, hey, man, you better not turn a blind eye to a doggone thing. But I remember when Horizon Lego went over to the Nintendo Switch and everybody said, "Oh, man, it's just a Switch. What do you care? It's not even a real Horizon game. It's Lego." Come on, I'm sure it was something in the contract, but they had to do that. Don't worry about it. It's just a small thing. But in my mind, yeah, I was looking at it like, yeah, probably right. It's just a little bit of a testing of not even necessarily testing of the waters, but it makes sense for a game like that to be on Nintendo Switch. So go ahead and let it slide. But in the back of my mind, I did find it kind of shaky, a little weird. Man, out of all of the platforms, you actually put it on the platform that you were beefing with even before PlayStation was a thing. And you put it on that platform, man, I don't know. I mean, they already cracked the door. Horizon over there flirting with Nintendo right now, getting all cozy a little bit over on that platform. I don't know, man. Man, PlayStation, you're looking a little off your game lately. I mean, but we're going to talk about Sony a little bit later, but what do you guys think about this? Are we going to see some PlayStation games more than just Horizon, but an actual real deal PlayStation game come over to Nintendo? Man, whoo, we are living in some wild gaming times. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I got from The Verge. So let's jump into some more Switch 2 news. Now, if you're in the market for a webcam for your Switch 2, so you can enjoy, the video chat while playing some of your games, just know you don't have to settle for the Switch 2 camera. So instead, you can pick up a Logitech camera, and this was confirmed by Logitech spokesperson Layla Lewis, who said, and I quote, "All of our webcams except Brio 4K work out of the box with the Switch 2. God dog. I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So from my standpoint, at least there is some camera competition out there so Nintendo can't completely rob their fan base without there being other options. I think this is awesome. Again, some of these webcams, I'm sure, just talking about it from a bit of a, how would you say? I guess a quality standpoint, I'm sure some of these cameras are actually better than what Nintendo is offering. I can't say for sure. And, but who knows? But it's great to have options where Nintendo isn't the only one. Matter of fact, listen, I'm going to tell you, y'all know Nintendo's pettiness. Oh, we're all very familiar about how petty Nintendo can be. If y'all don't remember, look, listen, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 80s and the 90s. Okay. I remember when Nintendo tried to have their games taken out of video stores back when, Blockbuster, but for myself, Earl's Video in Baltimore, on the west side of Baltimore. We used to go there to the West Side. What was it? The West Side Shopping Center, I believe. I think it was the West Side Shopping Center. I might be a little wrong about that. But we used to go there and we would get movies every weekend and we would get video games. And of course, I didn't know that at the time, but you read certain articles as you get older and you're like, oh man, the information becomes more accessible. But yeah, man, Nintendo has always been on petty time. They always have been petty LaBelle, as it were. So for me, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, how long is it going to be? Before Nintendo actually says, doggone, they bricking systems right now. They are bricking consoles that people have paid $450 to $500 for. We got to talk about that as well just a little bit later. But to me, Nintendo is that type of company to say, look, man, if y'all using a Logitech camera, man, we're bricking your system. This is over. We're losing revenue. We're tired of this. You can only come and see us for your camera supplier. We cutting you off if you do this Logitech thing. I wouldn't put it past Nintendo, but we'll see what happens. So for now, go out there, get yourself a nice Logitech camera and enjoy yourself. But just remember, it is not compatible with the Brio 4K camera. Let's go ahead and move on into the next story that I got from VGC. So if you didn't know, Tokyo Game Show 2025 takes place on September 25th through the 28th. Now, some of the exhibitors will be there. Well, some of the exhibitors that will be there are going to be Sony, who will appear in the family game area and indie game area. Also, Hey, you know what? Wait a minute. On a side note, just so you guys know, the free DLC for Astrobot, that includes, what is it, like 5 challenge levels, that actually releases tomorrow, which is July 10th. So you can be sure to pick that up. Astrobot 5 free. Man, they have been absolutely killing it with that game. The DLC has been immense. You just love to see it. So yeah, that would make sense why they would be in the family area. They are trying to push Astrobot. Now, the other thing is, as far as them being in the indie game area, maybe they have, and I'm not trying to set expectations because God dog, I have been let down quite a bit by Sony, a little bit this year. So I'm not trying to set expectations too high, but maybe they have some kind of indie deals with some other developers, maybe second party type of deals that maybe we see, because it has been announced. And this is the thing that has let me down thus far. It has already been confirmed that this year there will be no Sony Showcase 2025. Man, Sony, you're hurting me, brother. God, dog, we don't get a showcase or anything, but they will be at the doggone Tokyo Game Show, so you stay tuned for that. Now, outside of PlayStation, it's also some of the other exhibitors that will be there is Kojima Productions, Square Enix, Sega, Capcom, and they said, and more will appear at the event's extensive merchandise area, which, just for context, that usually features exclusive items not available outside of the show. Now, other than that, that's about all of the information that we have for now. So yeah, Sony will be at Tokyo Game Show. Kojima's gonna be there, Sega, Capcom, maybe they have a couple of announcements, Square Enix as well. And we just gotta wait to see the list if any more companies will be joining in with the Tokyo Game Show. I mean, as it stands right now, no Xbox. Oh man, and it kind of makes sense. You might want to lay low just for a little bit. But let's go ahead and let's move on. Oh man, to the next story. Speaking of the devil, I got this next story from True Achievements, and golly, Xbox has had one heck of a turbulent ride over the last couple days. So let's talk about it. So as a whole, 9,000 jobs. God dog, 9,000 jobs were lost inside of Microsoft, which is a tragedy. I mean, that's a tragedy within itself. 9,000 jobs. Good gosh, let's go ahead and move forward. But talking about, because we are here for the gaming side. That's not to take away what happened to 9,000 people losing their jobs, but we are here for the gaming side of things. So let's focus on that, for a tick. So as far as the gaming side of the job cuts go, we have some info, but just to be clear, Microsoft has not officially come out to tell us how many jobs were taken away in the Xbox sector. But due to sources like India Times and 80 Level and others, we at least have a little bit more of an idea. So King, the Candy Crush developer, they laid off 200 employees from that sector, which is about 10% of their staff. Now, God dog, this next one, Turn 10 Studios, the Forza Motorsport studio, laid off 50 50% of their staff, impacting 70 jobs. Now, this right here, this is crazy to me. Forza Motorsport, now granted, I'm not going to sit up here, no fake outrage from me, but man, this was one of their most consistent studios. And y'all cut half of the staff. The word is they're going to end up being a studio that's just pretty much there for support. A supporting studio where they were, the lowest score I think they got. Listen, man, hold on. Let me look it up so I'm not giving y'all false information, because I am truly curious to know what was the lowest score that a motorsport ever got. Here we go. What is the lowest score that a Forza Motorsport game received? Let's see.
You can find motorsport games at a variety of retailers.
No, I didn't ask that. What was the lowest scoring Forza Motorsport game?
Based on Metacritic critic scores, the lowest scoring Forza Motorsport game is Forza Motorsport 5 2013 with a Metascore of 79. While user scores can vary, the professional critic consensus places Forza Motorsport 5 at the bottom of the main series.
A 79 was as low as they went. 79. So that meant they were truly getting 80s and above. And you cut 50% of the staff. Golly. To me, that means motorsport is gone. That is out of here. And maybe, just maybe, motorsport wasn't selling as well as Xbox would have liked it to. You know what? What is the most amount of copies that Motorsport Forza sold? I know I said it backwards, but hopefully it caught it.
It's a bit challenging to get precise, officially confirmed sales figures for individual Forza Motorsport games, as Microsoft often focuses on Game Pass subscriber numbers and overall franchise engagement rather than traditional unit sales. Yeah. However, based on available data, Forza Motorsport 5 is reported to have sold 2 million copies.
Oh.
This figure often appears in lists of best-selling Xbox One games. Other Forza Motorsport titles likely fall in a similar range or slightly higher, with some older games possibly reaching 3 to 4 million copies over their lifespan.
Dang. Those, man, listen, man, those numbers are low. I can't sit here and act like, 2 million to a fan base of, at that time, during the Xbox One era, 50 million consoles were out there. Then you talk about 3 to 4 million. Yeah, that's a lot, but I'm thinking about the licensing of these different cars. I'm thinking about the licensed music, these guys having to go on, go to the different locations to race the cars, to, get the sounds of the motor. I'm sure that stuff cost a lot of doggone money. So were they actually recouping the money? Is great as a franchise as this is or has been. It could have been a situation where they just weren't recouping the money that Xbox needed them to keep them around.
Say it again. Say something else. Say something else. Say something else.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility that could have been the situation. I'm not saying they should have got rid of the team. I'm just simply saying that financially, maybe it didn't make sense. But you know what? They weren't the only ones that were affected, okay? We got to move on to some more different facets of the Xbox brand that were affected. So after that, Okay, yeah, the 70 jobs at Forza. So ZeniMax, Bethesda Studios, made various cuts, including marketing teams in London and Maryland. Golly, that's where I'm at. As well as canceling a MMORPG codenamed Blackbird. Now, I know people were mad about this. Oh, man, how could you do such a thing? What is going on? How could you cancel the game? They were almost at the finish line. Man, listen, man, I heard that they were working on this game about 7 years. 7 years, and it still wasn't out. God, dog. I don't know how long MMORPGs take to really get together. I'm sure it takes a lot of time, but wow, for them to cut it right when it was almost at the finish line, according to reports, is very, very sad. My gosh. Now, other studios that saw reductions include Raven Software. Now, now correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to get too hyped up. I feel like I'm getting a little too hype here. Let me bring it down a notch. Whew. Okay. All right. So they said Raven Software. Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Raven Software part of one of the teams that actually do Call of Duty every year? You guys had to let me know, but they got cuts. Halo Studios got cuts, and Sledgehammer Games. Now I know they make Call of Duty games. How the world you going to cut? Man, you cutting resources from Call of Duty? God, dog. Man, listen, man. Anyway, let's continue. Also during these cuts, oh man, and this is the most egregious. I mean, all of this stuff is egregious, but doggone. This one right here actually hit me in the doggone stomach. Now, the quadruple A studio, the Initiative studio was shut down. And I mean, look, it wasn't bad enough that they shut it down. But as a result, Perfect Dark Reboot, the game that looks so amazing, has been canceled.
Move this man!
They canceled Perfect Dark Reboot. Oh, man, dark times to a certain degree. I don't want to paint a picture of, I don't know, man. Man, that's kind of grim. I mean, listen, I have to say, this is a little grim. So here it is, Perfect Dark, one of those games that looked amazing. I mean, it looks so promising. Oh man, gone. Now that wasn't the only game that was canceled. Also, Rare's Everwild project was canceled. Now, to be fair, now Everwild, man, they was playing around with that one. I don't understand what was going. Hold on. Didn't Phil Spencer say he was just playing that game? Didn't he say it was coming along? Hold on. Wait a second. Now listen, man, I got a terrible memory. So it is a very, very good possibility that Phil Spencer never even talked about this game. But hold on. When was the last update Phil Spencer gave on Everwild?
Unfortunately, the most recent update regarding Everwild is that it has been canceled.
Yeah, we know
Just
that.
7 days ago, around July 2nd, 2025, multiple reports and internal communications confirmed that Microsoft has ceased development on Rare's Everwild as part of broader layoffs and restructuring within Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah, we know that.
This was later confirmed by Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios.
Okay.
Prior to this cancellation, Phil Spencer had indeed given an update earlier this year, around February 2025. In an interview, he stated that he had visited Rare and was nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making, expressing his excitement for the game. However, that positive update was followed by the recent news of its cancellation.
Move this man!
Hey, Phil! Oh, man! Hey, Phil, back in Listen to this. I knew I wasn't tripping. I didn't think so. He just talked about Everwild back in February. Not even a half a year ago. He said that he was visiting at Rare. Everything was coming along. It was nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making. And of course, oh, man. Oh, Phil Spencer, God dog, you sly guy, you God dog. How many times, this is the thing. Listen, we all know that Phil Spencer's boss is Satya Nadella. Whatever Nadella tells Phil he has to do, he got to do it. So it's kind of, it ain't no kind of in it. It's out of his hands. He has no control over what's going on or what's happening. But doggone, have we ever had, man? Oh, shucks. Have we ever had a CEO of a department of a department in the company have so many different quotes that have come back to haunt them more than Phil Spencer? Phil Spencer, you could put a whole reel together, a highlight reel of how many times Phil Spencer has said things and the opposite has happened. I mean, look, man, only 4 games are going over for now. That came back to bite him in the rear end. Just talking about, them actually having a fighting game that was going to make up for Street Fighter 5 going over to PlayStation exclusive. Don't worry, we're going to have a game for you guys to make up for that. Nothing happened. Oh, man, I don't even need to go through the countless different quotes from Phil Spencer where he has been called out for things not going in the way that he made all of us think that they were going in. I mean, Game Pass, listen, Xbox games are only going to show up on platforms that have Game Pass on. I mean, God damn. This brother got a track record, man. This brother got a past. You hear me? This brother got a real past when it comes to saying things that just are not true. And that's why I'm telling you, that's the main reason why I have not trusted the Xbox brand in years. It seems like whenever they get a glimpse, a glimmer of hope, and things are actually turning around and getting better for the brand, something always happens that just takes away all of the great will that they have went out there and done. I was just on a high. I don't have an Xbox Series X. I sure the heck don't. But I was happy to see the output of games that were coming out on a consistent basis on the Xbox brand, especially when it was such a drought. I mean, now PlayStation got a major drought going on. Ain't too much happening right now. But Xbox, they are flourishing. They've been doing amazing all year long. And then you come to this. Man, and I understand some of this, it's out of Phil Spencer's. Well, I don't. We're going to talk about that with Phil Spencer and all of this other stuff, as far as it being out of his control and having to cut jobs. We'll get to that in a minute. But the thing that I did want to cover, speaking on Perfect Dark, just for a minute, and, all of the controversy around it, not being a real game. It was fake and it was all smoke and mirrors. According to level designer Adam McDonald, who was actually working on the project, he did reveal that the footage that was shown during the Xbox showcase was, quote, in engine, end of quote, and represented a, quote, vertical slice, end of quote, of the game, and it was playable. And not entirely pre-rendered CGI. I don't know. But he did admit that it was, quote, some fakery, end of quote, and was highly controlled, and expressed it, quote, worked best if you played it in the way the person playing it in the video plays it, end of quote. And it didn't play as well if you actually deviated from some of the things that they were doing in that trailer, that so-called gameplay trailer. If you deviated from any of those things, then the game was, it was going to be real shaky. So to me, this sounds like a tech demo. It sounds like something you present when you're early in production and you're like, yeah, this is the vertical slice. This is what me and the team actually worked on. We got this whipped up and we're working on it. And this is where we are in the early stages of production. That's what this seems like to me. So it's no telling how far out this game was. And that's the thing. That's the thing that's frustrating. Because, by the way, operations have ceased on Blizzard's mobile game, which affected 100 people as well. But, God, dog, 100 people, man, oh man. But listen, this is the thing that is frustrating to me as an Xbox fan. Well, I should say a previous Xbox fan who really wanted to come back into the fold. Here it is, the initiative. When did they pick up the initiative? Back in 2018? I believe at the E3 show, they talked about, oh man, this is going to be the quadruple A studio. You had these guys for 7 years. And you only got this far in a game. And that's on top of them bringing in outside help. They brought in outside help to get them to this point. What was it? IO Interactive, I think they brought in. And you still couldn't get it past the finish line. That is leadership. That is a failure on leadership's part. This falls under Phil Spencer. And that has been my problem. And I know I've heard that Phil Spencer is a great guy. I'm not attacking his personal character. I'm just talking about him as the leader of Xbox. That is all. This is not personal. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of you're the guy in charge. I get that you got Matt Booty out there. He's supposed to be keeping an eye on the troops and making sure everything is going smoothly. Obviously, Matt wasn't doing his job either. If these many things fell through the cracks, and you weren't keeping up, and you wanted to have them, oh man, y'all remember this quote, we're pretty much, and I'm not going to quote exactly, but basically they were saying, we're going to let them work at the pace, the teams that is, at the pace that they feel like they want to work at. We're not going to pressure them. It's not going to be any crunch. We're going to let them work at their own pace so that they can be comfortable at work. And so if they're comfortable at work, they'll be able to do a better job. Man, how the heck did that turn out? Everybody mad at crunch, fake madness and whatnot. Oh, man, it's terrible. Man, we all got crunch. On our jobs, it comes a certain time of year for some of us. I can't say all, but for some of us, when you are in crunch. As a truck driver, man, listen, man, summertime, a lot of people eat. Well, ain't a whole lot of people eating. Didn't see a lot of cookouts over the 4th of July, over the weekend. Wasn't a whole lot of people partying. So it wasn't a lot of BBQ going on. But usually, and it's because of the economy, being serious for a minute, the economy is really messed up. I mean, good grief, 9,000 people just lost their jobs on top of countless, unfortunately, other people losing their jobs in other industries. So it's tough out here. It's hard. People just aren't barbecuing like they used to or having cookouts and get-togethers because that stuff costs money. But all I'm saying is, look, getting back on track because I don't want to deviate anymore. This is leadership at the end of the day. Phil Spencer has not been a great Xbox leader. People can say that the Xbox brand is only around because Phil Spencer came in. He got the attention of Satya Nadella with the Game Pass model. We're going to talk about that a little bit later too. But looking at the way that he has managed these different teams, and again, I know Phil can't do it all, but at the end of the day, I look at it like a person that's running their household. Yeah, for people that have children, I don't have any. Thank goodness. I don't want children. I'm good off of that. But for people that have children, usually they'll delegate, certain responsibilities to certain kids within the house. You did it. You're in charge of the dishes. You got to watch your brother or your sister. You got to sweep up, and mop. And, they delegate different jobs to the children within the household. Now, if those things aren't being done, or it's a lack of, somebody actually, pulling their responsibility weight around the house, then it is up to the person who is the leader in the household to get this stuff straight. Ultimately, the responsibility always falls back on to the person who's the head of the household. You have to make sure that everybody is doing their job. And if they are not doing their job, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you got to come in and check some people. Hey, look, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? I'm seeing things are slipping a little bit here. What's happening? It's up to you. That's the way I look at it with Phil Spencer. Yeah, you got other people that are supposed to be doing the job, but you got to keep your eye on them as well. They got to be managed. They got to be, on their P's and Q's. You got to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, because if not, these are the results. This is what happens. And it's one thing I will say about, man, he has passed on now over at Nintendo. What was his name? Iwata. When things were in the dumps, and Nintendo, man, these jokers are always wilding. These cats always got some stuff going on that I don't agree with. But when the chips were down over at Nintendo, God rest his soul, Mr. Iwata, instead of getting rid of people, he actually fell on the sword himself. Said, look, ultimately, it was my responsibility. I didn't quite pull my weight. I'm not quoting exactly what he said, but ultimately, he was like, I'm going to fall on the sword. I'll take a pay cut so that we can make sure that everybody else holds on to their job. And to me, that's just admirable. Very, very admirable to take that kind of stance and responsibility to say that as a result of my leadership, we're in the situation that we're in. It's not your fault. Here, I'll take the bullet for you. Keep on working. We'll get it together. I mean, man, shout out to Mr. Iwata, man. Really. That's good leadership. So Phil Spencer, he made that letter, hey, sorry, you guys did an excellent job. Again, I'm not quoting what he said. It was a long letter, but it just sounded like the same thing over and over again. Why can't Phil actually take a cut to his pay? I mean, he's in charge ultimately. I mean, ever since he's taken over the Xbox brand, I haven't seen the brand grow. If anything, it has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller in fan base since he's taken over. Again, this is not shots personally to Phil Spencer, just things that I see as him being the leader inside of Xbox. So that's the thing I always wonder, man, why do the little guys always have to suffer? The people that are actually doing their job. Forza Motorsport, like I said, the lowest, well, I didn't say it, I looked it up. The lowest score they got was a 79. And they let half of that staff go. I mean, again, I get the numbers and all of that stuff. just looking at it from a business standpoint. But dag, man, seems like the people that are actually doing their job, they always suffer. And the big wigs, well, they just say, man, sorry. Gotta let you go as I collect my $2 or $3 million bonus for the year. And I get it. Look, you're working, you earned that money. I understand that. But man, it does bother me a little bit that upper management never suffers, even if it's their fault. They just get to walk away free and clear after they have helped with a massive car crash, vehicles crashing all over the place, brimstone, people getting hurt up, thrown through windshields. They done caused all this chaos, but they just get to walk away free and clear and get a bonus at the end of it. While the people that were really working in the trenches trying to make this thing work, they got to take the brunt of it and get laid off, lose their jobs, lose their careers. And now they're out in the cold trying to figure out what they're going to do with their family. How are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to eat? How are they going to pay their car note, mortgage, whatever the case may be? But the big guys, they just keep on thriving. Just say, wipe my hands of it. Hey, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Gotta go. Sad times, man. Very, very sad. Man, all I can do is say I hope that these 9,000 individuals, they are able to bounce back. Man, it's so hard in this economy. Nobody's hardly hiring. Job comes up. I'm sure thousands of people are swarming on the one job. Man, the industry, and I know not all of it's gaming. It's Microsoft. Mostly it's Microsoft, and Xbox was hit, a little bit as far as the reports go, not nearly as much as Microsoft itself, but just the fact that we're losing a lot of these developers. They may never be able to get back into the industry. That's talent, lost talent that may never, ever return again. But we'll see what happens with Xbox. We'll see, what's going to happen in the next coming months or whatever the case may be. But one thing is for sure is that whatever Xbox is talking about, whatever Phil Spencer says, whatever Sarah Bond is saying, whatever Matt Booty is saying, man, you take that stuff with a mustard seed of truth. This next so-called Xbox, next generation console, and I don't even know what's gonna happen with that. Sarah Bond is talking, and I can't trust it. We've seen Xbox change strategies so frequently. It's maddening. It's outrageous. Anyway, let's go ahead, guys, and let's move on in to the next story, because, man, I'm sure that this Xbox story is far from over. We'll keep our eyes and ears, as it were, to the gaming streets when it comes to them. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story that I actually got from Naughty Dog. Let's get into some good news. Now, yet again, Naughty Dog has added a new mode to The Last of Us Part 2 remaster. Yeah, dog. Now, this time, it is free. It is free, and they're calling it the chronological experience, meaning it will rearrange. Stupid.
Move this man!
I couldn't even get through the doggone story. Naughty Dog, what are y'all doing over there, man? Naughty Dog, hey, Neil. Hey, brother Neil Druckmann. Man, what are you doing over there with this team, man? Listen, these jokers got a mode literally called the chronological experience, meaning it will rearrange all of the events to unfold in the order they actually happened. In the order that they happened within the game's universe. Now, it's going to be some trophies available for this mode. You're going to be able to get a Nathan Drake skin and a Sam Drake. I forgot Sam's name from Uncharted 4. Nathan Drake's brother. You're going to get a skin for Tommy when you're playing the online mode. I mean, I'm laughing because this is just madness. This is mad. I have never seen. Hey, listen, it's free, which is awesome. It's going to give you a different perspective on The Last of Us Part 2. You're going to be able to see this stuff in chronological order. But yeah, dog, I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, man, this is creative. I'll give Naughty Dog that. You have single-handedly, you have, man, you have dried this IP up for this generation. They have used every single angle that they possibly can to keep busy with The Last of Us being the thing that they keep on making. This generation keep reinventing it. This generation, oh my gosh. And y'all know The Last of Us Part 2 is my favorite. It was my favorite game of last generation. It is one of my top, man, that might be the top 3, maybe top 5. Pardon me, I keep on hiccuping. It might be in my top 5. If not top 3. You know, greatest games that I have ever played. So in no way am I clowning Naughty Dog for doing this. I'm just laughing because, good gosh, how many ways are you going to flip this one game? It is madness. So yeah, they do recommend though that you actually play the game for new people that are just getting introduced to The Last of Us Part 2. They do recommend that you play the game the regular way that it was intended. But once you get through the game, excuse me, and you want to play it again, if you do choose to, you can actually play it in chronological order and really see the story from a different perspective. Again, I give them credit. You know, Naughty Dog is staying busy. My goodness, these jokers are staying busy. But man, oh man, please just concentrate on your next project. Please. What is the Intergalactic? The Prophet. Please just give us something new on that. Matter of fact, speaking of The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann, I didn't actually jot this story down, so I'm just going off of memory. But Neil Druckmann did say that he will be stepping away from the HBO Last of Us franchise on HBO to get back to actually producing and, you know, developing games. I'm saying to myself, whoa, wait a minute, Brother Neil Druckmann. I thought you were working on Intergalactic all of this time. So this brother say he going back to work now. He about to, you know, do his regular, 9 to 5 now. I mean, I think it was dope that they had him on The Last of Us on HBO, but I did hear, and I didn't watch it, but I heard that season 2 really took a bit of a nosedive. I heard it was not as good as the first season. They lost a lot of viewership. Matter of fact, I mean, how bad did it get? Let's see how bad it got. I'm curious. What was the drop off for season 2 of The Last of Us? Let's see if we can find those numbers.
It appears there has been a notable drop-off in viewership for Season 2 of The Last of Us, as well as a more divisive critical and audience reception compared to Season 1. Here's a summary of the situation based on recent reports. As of early June 2025, viewership declined. The Season 2 finale reportedly drew 3.7 million cross-platform viewers, which is a 55% drop compared to the Season 1 finale, 8.2 million viewers.
Golly! Woo! Now, that's concerning.
But wait, it gets worse.
God, dog. So yeah, see, Neil Druckmann like, man, I got to get the heck out of this fire. I need to get back to what I do. Now I done blew this up over here. The whole building is up in flames. Let me get across the street back to, what I'm known for. Dag, Neil, is that what happened? Oh, man. Yeah, Neil, come on back home, my brother. Come on back home and do what you do, on the intergalactic profit and all of that good stuff. We look forward to your work being continued over at Naughty Dog. Man, oh man. Let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story that I actually got from PlayStation Lifestyle. So according to, oh man, this is more rumors. Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. So this time, this rumor is coming from Tom Henderson. Now we know Tom, he's got a pretty good track record, if I might say so myself. So he said Techland is making a new Call of Juarez game being built on Unreal Engine. Now Henderson also claims that a quote sequel has been in development for some time, end of quote. Now the publishing rights for Juarez, Call of Juarez, they actually moved back to Techland in 2018 after all 4 games were published by Ubisoft. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are familiar with Call of Juarez. This was back during like the 360 era. It might have been Xbox One early on, Xbox One. I had played that game, man. That joint was flames. It was dope. You were in the West, and you actually had like duels where you had like standoffs where I'm saying where a lot, but you actually would have these duels where they'd be like draw, and you actually drew your gun and had these different X's go up to shoot the enemy. It was a dope game. I really, really enjoyed it. It was so enjoyable. So for them to actually possibly be working on a new Call of Juarez, man, I would love to see that in Unreal Engine, Techland. Man, listen, Techland fell on my radar earlier. No, just recently. I mean, I've always heard of Techland, Dying Light. But that Dying Light that they showed off during Summer Game Fest, man, these jokers are a problem. God damn. Them? Whoo! Man, them doing graphics like that in Call of Juarez, man, sign me the heck up. We'll see if this actually comes true, though. Let's get into the next story that I got from Kotaku. Now, this is great news. This is awesome news. So Sony will be hosting their next State of Play event on July 10th, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the event will be dedicated solely to Ghost of Yotei. And the event will run about 20 minutes long. Now, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time to actually be looking at one game. Could it be some spoilers? It's possible. You always run the risk of seeing something that maybe you would have liked to have experienced on your own when you're looking at such a long video. Will I be there? You're doggone right, I'm going to be there. I can't wait to see this. This is one of the few games that PlayStation is releasing this year. And this time it's from a first-party studio. So I am very, very much so looking forward to this, especially since, again, we're not getting any showcase this year. We're going to have Sony at this event, and they're going to be a Tokyo Game Show. That's all. No more, no less. Again, no, man, that burns me up. I was really hoping we were going to see a showcase this year, but nonetheless, nonetheless, man, that sucks. I can't make any excuses for that. Dang, where you at, Sony? Darn. Tired of this. Anyway, tomorrow is going to be a good day. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to see Ghost of Yote and what it has to offer. I'm looking forward to seeing that graphical prowess. To be honest with you, I can't wait to see that. I think it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see good old Wolfie out there biting jokers. You know, man, that joker been showing his teeth since the first doggone trailer, you know, growling and whatnot. Can't wait to see how he going to work. I wonder, is it going to be almost like Shadow Dancer? Y'all remember Shadow Dancer back in the day? Or what was it, Dead to Rights? I think that also, you had a dog, a pet in that as well, where you could sick them on people. I wonder, is that how you're going to be able to do that? I'm curious to know, is he going to like grab them by like their shirt sleeve and pull them down and you get to do a combo on them or something like that? It could be some really cool things. Y'all remember Shadow Dancer? Oh man, that joint was fire. That joint was so good on the Sega Genesis. I actually beat that game. One of my favorite levels was when you were fighting on the Statue of Liberty. That joint was so dope. Golly. Oh, man. Anyway, for the sake of time, let's go ahead and let's get into the next story. So this next story, I actually got it from Dual Shocker. So let's talk about that now. Woo, this one right here. Oh, this got me. Oh, this got me excited right here. Got me excited. So we got to talk about Insomniac Games. Now, it has been shared that Insomniac is in fact working on not just Wolverine, but 2 other, quote, unannounced games, end of quote. Now, this info was shared by a developer who is a senior character and concept artist who mentions their projects as Marvel's Wolverine and 2 unannounced games. Now, this actually segues into a talk about more news concerning Insomniac. So according to the Mag Show, Insomniac's next game will be Wolverine. Yes, it's gonna be, hold on. No, I read that wrong. Pardon me. It's not gonna be Wolverine. Instead, it is going to be the rumored, oh my goodness, the rumored Venom game.
What did he say?
It's gonna be the Venom game. Oh my gosh. If that's true, oh, that's gonna be nice. Now, it is being rumored, according to the Mag Show, that the Venom game will be releasing in 2026, and it's going to be, quote, larger than Miles Morales, smaller than Spider-Man 2 in size and scope, end of quote. So that's going to be like a nice middle ground, as it were. Oh, man, if you played that part in Spider-Man 2, how, man, imagine that on a full scale. That is almost like Hulk Ultimate Destruction on crack because of all of the physics and the graphic. Anyway, let's move forward. Now, the other piece of news is Wolverine will be releasing in 2027. Now, I'm sure, you know, some of you may have never heard of Mag, or his name stands for Middle Age Gamer, but I have. I definitely have. I've heard of Mag, and the reason why I believe him is because during that time when Xbox was bringing their games, the PlayStation, where they said, you know, those first 4 games were going to be it and no more were going to be coming over to the platform, Mag was on record saying that he was told that more games were coming and that they would be staples, games that people would never believe would be coming over to the PlayStation brand. He said that over a year ago, that people were going to be upset. He was being told that, listen, these first 4 games are nothing. That's just the tip of the iceberg. This thing gets a lot worse. He was on record saying that, and you look at today, what the landscape is, goodness gracious, Gears of War and Forza are over on PlayStation. So that is the only reason why I give this brother some validity, because nobody could have seen, even fathomed the thought that, oh man, it's no way they're going to put any of the big three over on PlayStation. But Mag, he actually went out there, he put his neck on the line and he said, I have heard other things. So if he's saying that Insomniac, this is their plan, it's not going to be Wolverine, but it's going to be the Venom game and what was he? The character and the senior character and concept artist already said that they're working on 2 unannounced games. So the Venom game was never announced. I mean, Wolverine has been, but we've also heard that Insomniac is working on a X-Men game as well. That should be out around 2030, maybe 2031. And on top of that, we also heard that Wolverine wasn't going to be making it out in fiscal year 2025, which ends in March of 2026. So if he's saying, okay, Wolverine is going to be out in 2027, it makes sense from a standpoint of the time gap. And again, Venom, I would take a Venom game. Oh, I would be excited to play a Venom game. I guess it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a full experience. I mean, for me, Spider-Man Miles Morales, I thought that was a full game. I know some people wanted to joke and say it was DLC. It was nothing more, nothing less. Nah, that Joker felt like a full experience. If you ask dog on me, the graphics was on point, the voice acting, the story, the gameplay, the world was big enough for me. Shoot, I had me a blast. It was worth my money. You know, so if it's going to be on the lines of that, man, sign me the heck up. I've been waiting for a Hulk, a mass destruction game, a sequel. So that's about the closest that we would get. Man, Venom was tearing up some stuff in that game, doggone it. But anyway, we will see what happens with this in the future. I really believe that a little bit of validity to this one. But you know, only time, just like with everything, only time will tell. Only in time we'll be able to tell. But let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's move on into the next story. Oh, Nintendo finds themselves in a bit of trouble. Now, this story comes from Nintendo Life. Now, this report is about Nintendo bricking consoles. Now, this doesn't really have anything to do with us here in the States, but it could eventually, because by Nintendo doing this, it has landed them in some trouble with the Brazil's consumer rights watchdog. Now, this became a problem when people discovered that after they bought their Switch 2 and they bought their Switch 2 secondhand, that they had restricted access to all online services and that the console essentially didn't work, displaying, quote, error code 2124-4508, end of quote. Now, Brazil's consumer rights watchdog has argued that this policy violates users' rights to access the services that they've paid for. Now, Brazil's Public Consumer Protection and Defense Program now has a complaint filed with Nintendo and has requested that this policy be removed entirely. Man, Nintendo is these guys are very stubborn. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but Nintendo did say they will respond to this complaint in 20 days. So we shall see. We'll stay tuned and see what happens. You know, hopefully, we'll be able to file something here to get this banned here, but we'll have to see how things actually go for Brazil first, to even see if the States even have a shot. Now, Also, because we gotta look at it from two different sides of the coin. To be fair, God, dog, this is kind of hard to defend this, but to be fair, these consoles that did get bricked were found to be using MIG switch cartridges, which essentially mimics an official Nintendo Switch card, tricking the console into believing it's a legitimate game card. So basically, they were using pirated software. This wasn't real. They out here stealing. And as a result, I can understand Nintendo's frustration with that. Hey, look, man, you're stealing my stuff. What do you think I'm going to do? Somebody tries to steal something from anybody in real life, and it means that much to you, you're going to fight somebody over it. I mean, usually if doggone, if sidearms are pulled out, I mean, that's a bit of a different conversation. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. It's not worth dying for. But if the person is just straight up trying to take it from you and nobody has any, nobody is bearing arms, then yeah, man, shoot, I want my stuff. What are you talking about? So I get where Nintendo was coming from. They're like, you're not going to steal from me and think that I'm going to be cool with you taking my stuff and I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm retaliating. Doggone virtual drive-by out here. I'm tired of y'all taking my stuff. Take this virtual drive-by, god dog it. That's what Nintendo was doing right now. They spraying up the block. Joker said, I will not lose. That's Nintendo right now. You are not going to take my stuff and walk away. No, sir, you are not. Bricked. Your console has been nuked. Oh, it's like a part of me that loves it and a part of me that's like, dang, Nintendo. Golly. So I get it, man. I get it. PC gamers, man, these jokers be out here, man. They be pirating. And they'll say, I'm pirating it because Nintendo won't put it on my platform. Well, doggone it. Go out there and buy the platform that it was intended to be played on, doggone it. Go try to justify your thievery, man. You guys are crazy.
Boo this man!
This is nuts! This is absolutely nuts. We'll see what happens with this. Nintendo, I don't see these jokers budging. They said 20 days. I don't see these jokers budging in 20 years on this doggone policy because at the end of the day, these people were wrong. They were stealing. And I know people feel like, man, well, look, I bought the console. I paid the $450 to $500. It's mine to do what I want to do with it. But doggone, man, you essentially breaking the law. I mean, that's like, oh man, that's like telling somebody, look, I bought this doggone Glock 9. If I want to rob a convenience store, I should be able to go and rob it and do as I want with it. I mean, dang, brother, yeah, you can do that, but it comes with consequences. What are those consequences? Brother, you going to jail. That's what's going to happen. You are getting ready to get locked up. So that's the same thing that happened here. Nintendo virtually locked these mother lovers up. Oh, man, they locked them out of their console. They broke the Nintendo laws. Golly. Man, I will be curious to see what happens with this, man. I mean, because right is right, wrong is wrong at the end of the day. Oh, man, y'all think Nintendo gonna budge on this? I think not. Let's go ahead, though, guys, and let's move on. Is this the one? Oh, man, we got a couple more to go. I actually got this next story from VG Charts. So according to technical director Ian O'Grady over at Virtuos, during an interview conducted by WCCF Tech, he said, and I quote, any game shipping at 60 frames per second on the Series S should easily port to the Switch 2. Likewise, a 30 frames per second Series S game that's GPU bound should also port well. Games with complex physics, animations, or other CPU intensive elements might incur additional challenges in reaching 30 or 60 frames per second or require extra optimization during porting. End of quote. So maybe in the future, looking at certain games that appear on the Series S, it possibly could be an indicator of what third-party games make their way over to the Nintendo Switch 2. If this report is to be believed. I mean, doggone, by this logic, who knows? GTA 6 just might make an appearance on the Switch 2. It'll be interesting, man. I mean, listen, who is... Now, Virtuos, I think they actually work with Nintendo, if I'm not sure. Let me see. You know, it's always better to double check instead of going off of memory if you can't really remember. Does the studio Virtuos work with Nintendo? It said it wrong. But let's see.
It seems you might be referring to Bill Trinen, a very well-known and long...
Nah. What team? No. Does Virtuos Studios work with Nintendo?
What Nintendo teams collaborate with Virtuos Studios? Which Nintendo-owned development studios partner with Virtuos? Virtuos Studios Nintendo collaborations, Nintendo internal teams,
Wait.
Virtuos partnerships. Virtuos Studios is a global game development studio that frequently works with many publishers and developers, including those who release games on Nintendo platforms. However, Virtuos does not work with Nintendo's internal development teams in the sense of co-developing first-party Nintendo titles. Instead,
all right, no, go ahead.
Virtuos is primarily known for porting third-party games to Nintendo Switch and likely Switch 2. They specialize in optimizing and bringing games from other platforms to Nintendo hardware. Examples include Dark Souls Remastered, Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, Nier, Automata, End of Yorha Edition, Bioshock, The Collection, The Outer Worlds, XCOM2, Collection, Hogwarts Legacy, The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered, recently announced / released, provide...
Oh, yeah, you ain't got to say no more. These jokers been compromised. They've been working with Nintendo. Listen, it might be true. It might not. I know that the Nintendo Switch 2 is not nearly... It's close. It's kind of close, but it's still not on the same level as the doggone Series S. So, it's this brother right here. I'm not saying he's telling a fib. I'm just saying, man, it's a little questionable because you got such a tight bond, your studio with Nintendo. This is several games: Hogwarts Legacy, XCOM 2, The Outer Worlds, Bioshock the Collection, Dark Souls Remastered, Final Fantasy 12. There's a lot of doggone projects. I feel like, man, this brother might be like, look, I'm not messing up my bag. Listen to this. Anything this on the Series S, man, running at 30 to 60 frames per second. Hey, brother, I'm going to tell you right now, it can run on a Nintendo Switch at the same frames. Yeah, that brother ain't trying to mess up a bag. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this actually ends up being true and whether or not it will be an indicator. I mean, to be fair, and it's not joking around just for a minute, but, just to be fair, Cyberpunk 2077 is on there, which is, listen, that is impressive, very impressive within itself. So we'll definitely see what happens with the Switch and see how much of a bigger library, a broader, library, we'll see if it possibly these different third-party games will come to the Nintendo Switch 2. I believe that 2K is going to make its way over there. NBA 2K is on its way over to the Switch. So, that is huge. That's huge. One of the biggest third-party titles that comes out every year will be on the Switch 2 this year. So that is it's kind of a big deal. But we shall see what happens with this later on down the line. Let's get into the next story that I got from PC Gamer. So let's talk about, this joker's on the hot seat. Let's talk about Game Pass, because former Arcane Studio developer and founder Raphael, listen, brother Rafi, I don't know if I'm going to get your last name right, man, but I think it is pronounced Colantonio. It's spelled C-O-L-A-N, Colin, T-O-N-I-O, Colantonio. Yeah, man, shout out to you, brother. But he had some very stern words about the service. He said, and I quote, "I think Game Pass is an unsustainable model that has been increasingly damaging the industry for a decade, subsidized by Microsoft's infinite money. But at some point, reality has to hit. I don't think Game Pass can coexist with other models. They'll either kill everyone else or give up." End of quote. Now, before anyone says he's a disgruntled ex-employee of Xbox or Microsoft, he actually left back in 2017. So this guy's been gone almost 8 years, and he has new projects keeping him busy at Studio Wolfeye. But anyway, that aside, could you imagine one day that in your Game Pass subscription, this cost of development continues to go higher and higher and higher? That's one thing that the industry definitely has to get a wrap on. They gotta corral this budget, these crazy ballooning budgets. They gotta really put them in order. But as a result, could you imagine if one day that your Game Pass subscription, that you signed up for is $20 a month or whatever the case may be. We know the price is going to go higher. But what if you actually start seeing ads in the middle of your game, similar to how ads work and these other paid subscriptions like Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, or even Amazon Prime, that they're actually showing commercials to subsidize the cost of the service. And I think that's crazy, because I don't have any of those services at all. Only service I have is YouTube. Man, I love me some YouTube. I don't even need cable. YouTube is all I need, doggone it. So yeah, I ain't subscribed to any of those. But could you imagine? I'm just thinking about the people that actually pay the money a month. And you got to actually sit through commercials like regular TV. God, dog. Man, that's some bull, man.
Move this man.
Here it is. You paying for a subscription to sit through commercials. Because, man, they got to make money. I can see this actually happening. Don't forget, maybe about a year or two ago, it was rumblings that Game Pass could have, at one point in time, they scrapped the idea, but it was talks that they were trying to get Game Pass to a certain point where they had a tier where you would actually be able to watch commercials to actually pay for your gaming experience on Game Pass. Now, with these ballooning budgets that are happening at all of these studios, I just don't see that being too far off. I don't see that being off of the table at all, that Xbox gets to the point where they're like, man, look, we need more revenue. Yeah, I understand they paying, but look, look. And these ads and these jokers pay. And that's where it seems like it's going with all of these companies. During the culture, during the quality, to a certain degree, man, let's just get this bag. Let's get this money. Let's run up a check. And we'll worry about the consequences later. I've always been against Game Pass. Heck of a doggone deal, though. But I've always felt like in the long run, this was going to hurt gaming as a whole. Big time. So here it is. You got Microsoft laying off people again, Phil Spencer is continuing to say, and I can only go off of his, man, shoot. We can't go off of that brother's word. God, dog, we've seen it too many times. We got to start there. We can't go off of what this brother says. Again, it's not a shot to Phil Spencer, the man. It's a shot to Phil Spencer, the Xbox CEO. This joker can't be trusted. So he's saying that it's a profitable service. Man, look. Hell, this brother kind of shaky. Doggone pass, God dog it. Yeah. I don't trust. I don't think you can blame me. I don't trust what Phil Spencer says. Oh, yeah, it's profitable. I don't know why people would think anything else. It's a heck of a profitable service. Of course it is. Man, Phil, I don't believe you. We'll see. I mean, it's obvious. They're cutting jobs and things of that nature. What they say, Grand Theft Auto costs a couple mil a month to have it in the service. Hold on, man. Shoot. I know we're running long, but I feel like I owe y'all. I was off last week, couldn't record, had personal things going on. I want to stay here with y'all for a little bit longer. So doggone it, I'm about to see what happened. How much was Grand Theft Auto 5 in the service? How much did Xbox pay per month for Grand Theft Auto 5 in Game Pass?
In Game Pass, how much did Xbox pay per month for Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah.
What were the licensing fees for Grand Theft Auto 5
I wasn't
on
asking
Xbox
for
Game
all
Pass?
that.
How much did Microsoft pay Rockstar for GTA 5 on Game Pass? Xbox Game Pass Grand Theft Auto 5 cost per month. Grand Theft Auto 5 Game Pass licensing fee amount. While Microsoft and Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar Games parent company, don't officially disclose the exact figures.
Okay.
Leaked documents from the Microsoft FTC case have provided an estimate.
All right, here we go.
Based on these leaked documents, Microsoft was prepared to pay around $12 million to $15 million per month to include Grand Theft Auto 5 on Game Pass. This figure was reportedly tied to an estimated 30 million hours of playtime in the game. It's worth noting that GTA 5 has appeared on Game Pass multiple times, and the exact terms and costs could vary slightly with each re-edition. However, the 12 minus 15 million per month figure is the most widely cited estimate from these leaked documents.
Golly! So 12 to 15 million a month to have Grand Theft Auto 5 in the service. God, dog, I gotta get I gotta get myself together. Hold on, doggone, I'm stuttering like a mother. 12 to 15 million a month. Whoo! Now I get it. Grand Theft Auto 5 is an anomaly. Not every game is going to cost that much. But, whoa! That's one game costing between 12 and $15 million. That I don't give a doggone how rich your company is. Yeah, you're making money off of Game Pass. I know they're making money. I mean, okay. All right. Let's do the numbers. Let's say, all right, hold on. How many Game Pass subscribers are there? No, that said it wrong. How many Game Pass subscribers are there?
Less than control 42 greater than thought. The user is asking for the current number of Game Pass subscribers.
Yeah.
This is a factual question that requires up-to-date information. I should use a search tool to find the latest reported figures. As of mid-2025, Xbox Game Pass has reportedly surpassed 35 million subscribers. The last official update from Microsoft was in February 2024, when they reported...
That's cool. They reported 34 million subscribers, which also included Xbox Live Gold members. Okay, so now again, I don't have Game Pass. How much is Game Pass a month? Because I have no idea. Let me look that up. Because we're gonna get some numbers. And that way we can really see for ourselves. I mean, from the limited knowledge that we have. I mean, we're not in the board meeting, so we can't see all of the numbers, but we're going to do surface level numbers. Okay, so how much is Game Pass Ultimate? Let's just do that. Okay, that's $20 a month. That's what I thought. $19.99. Okay, so let's do, because this is a best case scenario. So what is $20 times 30 million?
The answer is 600 million United States dollars.
That wasn't even right. I should have said, hold on. What is $20 times 35 million?
The answer is 700 million United States dollars.
What is 700 million times 12?
The answer is 8,400,000,000.
Whoa! Oh, God. Dang. $8 billion? Whoo! Oh. Man, God, dog, that's a, man, that's a mint. That's a lot of doggone money, brother. $8,400,000,000 a year. Now that's best case scenario. God, dog, whoa. Let me get it together, brothers and sisters. That's a lot of money. Man, that 12 to 15 million is like $5. You know, in the grand scheme, but you got to think how many months. Let's say it was in there for 6 months, and let's even go with 12 million, per month. On the lower side, that's what 12, 24, 48, 60. All right, you're talking about a little over $60 million that you would have spent on that one game. To have it in there for like 6 months, not including the other games. But either way, it seems like, yeah, this Joker is definitely profitable. No doubt about it. But that's it. Again, that's best case scenario. I mean, you take off maybe 10 million, somewhere around there. Not everybody's paying 20 on Game Pass PC. It's, I think, $13. It's variance, but that's the best case scenario. If that's the case and these numbers are working out like that over at Xbox or Microsoft, yeah, these jokers filthy, stinking rich just off of the service alone. That's super profitable. Now, again, how much of that is actual profit? Because you got to pay for the servers and things to keep these games up and running. I know that costs a lot of money, but I don't know, man. I think I'm kind of convinced that, man, I think it is making money. I think it's doing okay. Now, can it last long term? I don't know. I don't think so. I still am going to stand on the side where I don't think this can last forever. I mean, the price will keep going up. Things will happen like that. But it's already been said by various developers that the best way to sell their game is to actually do it the traditional way. One guy, and I hate to, you guys know I always like to give you guys the source. Unfortunately, I don't have the source of this one gentleman who actually put his game into Game Pass because he thought it would help with the eyes, more eyes being on his product. And it was true. More eyes were on his product, but in his mind, he thought, okay, if I can get the people, to see my game and people to actually play the game, then they would talk about it. And, word of mouth would get a lot more people to actually buy the game. Instead, he said he saw the opposite effect. The game pretty much stalled out. Once people had played it on Game Pass, it was pretty much no more traction when it came to his game. So I know that goes the opposite direction too, with some people that say that it's helped their game, others that say it hasn't. So nobody is going to have a one-to-one comparison, but it's the stories of the ones that don't always get the best outcomes that I worry about, because if the studio wasn't making money, then that means the studio might be going away, very, very soon. But it's an interesting conversation. I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts. Do you think the Game Pass actually is profitable? I'm going to say again, I do think it's profitable, but I don't think they can deal in Game Pass numbers forever. I think eventually something is going to happen and they're going to have to do away with it. I think Game Pass is on the clock. Personally, I think so, but we'll get to that another day. But let's go ahead and let's get into the final story for this week. And I actually also got this story from PlayStation Lifestyle. Now, it looks like PlayStation's in-house studio, Fire Sprite, has begun working on a AAA game for the PlayStation 6. So over the past year, the studio has posted a number of jobs advertising. Nearly all of these jobs have advertised that it's an emphasis on, quote, next generation hardware technologies, end of quote. Now, as far as details on the upcoming title, Fire Sprite boasts that its, quote, ambitious AAA project, end of quote, will have, quote, a heavy focus on atmosphere, storytelling, player agency, and immersion into groundbreaking territory on next generation hardware technologies, end of quote. So to recap all the Fire Sprite leaks so far, the studio seems to be working on a dark horror game of sorts that's targeting 4K and 60 frames per second. Ooh, that should be nice. Now, one rumor floating around is the studio is working on Until Dawn 2, but it's also been speculation that they're working on a new Siren game. So only time will tell. This game isn't going to be out for quite some time. Again, this is going to be on PlayStation 6. Fire Sprite, they're still at it, and they are, again, making a AAA story-focused game, which is absolutely what we all want as PlayStation fans. Anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week, which leads us into the final topic of the show. And I want to thank you, the listener, for being here. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. But PlayStation, looking real shaky out here right now. I'm seeing chinks in your armor. Mr. Hiroki Totoki, could you please stand up for the jury? How, man, I want to know, will Hiroki Totoki ruin the PlayStation brand? Now, this brother is 61. He's about to be 61 years old on July 17th. I'm pretty sure this brother is only worried about the numbers. He's worried about getting the numbers. I feel like Hiroki Totoki, with this guy in the building, no PlayStation exclusive is safe. None of them. As long as Hiroki Totoki is in that building, the God of Wars, the Uncharted's, the Spider-Mans, the Returnals, all of it is subject to go to other platforms because they want the money. He wants the money. Now, for people that are saying that, oh man, it's just H-Divers too, what are you worried about? It's multiplayer. They need to keep the player counts up. They need to make money off of it. What are you tripping on? Man, they just had groundbreaking records. When it comes to them making money, the profitability of PlayStation has been staggering. But yet they're still putting the game on other platforms. I don't want to hear that the PlayStation player base is not enough. If the PlayStation player base wasn't enough, they wouldn't have made the money that they made. The only thing that I can look at and say what the motivation for this is greed. They just want all of the monies. Not the money. They want the monies with an S. They want it all. Hiroki Totoki is looking around and he's like, yep, I need more. The company needs more. And how do we get more? Put it on Xbox. Now I will say the timing. Oh man, the timing of the announcement. Man, Xbox, y'all thought y'all was slick. Y'all thought y'all could just come in here and say, look, man, I know we got all of this bad news happening. But look, man, look at this hand over here. Pay no attention to this other hand over here doing crime. Just look at this hand and don't worry about what that other hand is doing. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Everything is just fine. Nah, y'all tried it. Man, tell them H-Divers 2 is coming over to Xbox. They gonna forget all about that news. Oh, man, they just see it. It's over for PlayStation. H-Divers 2 is coming over. Oh, shucks. Everybody forgets that Turn 10 got 50% of its staff taken away. Perfect Dark is no longer. Everwild is no longer. The Initiative has been dismantled. Man, oh man, that was very, very sly, Xbox. But man, ain't nobody buying that stuff. Ain't nobody falling for it. This right here is absolutely madness to me. I really believe that at this point in time, man, I don't think it's a far-fetched conclusion to say that Spider-Man may end up on an Xbox. I mean, Horizon already flirting over there with Nintendo. Already blowing little kisses and whatnot. Hello. How are you? Yeah, Joker's entertaining over there on a Nintendo Switch. Man, I really think that Hiroki Totoki, it's over. It's over. All of the games that we said would never come over there, me included, I include myself in this. I would have never thought that this would have happened. And I absolutely despise it when you hear other people trying to make excuses about, oh man, I knew this was going to happen. When? When did you know this was going to happen? Why didn't you share this information with us to prepare us for this day? If you knew, why didn't you say something? And these jokers didn't know. They just saying it as a coping mechanism. Listen, PlayStation fans, do not fall into the delusion that Xbox fans have. Do not do it. Because Xbox fans, every time a game would go over, it's no big deal. We played it for 5 years. 5 years ago, it's no big deal. Y'all can have it. We've been done with that for forever. Go ahead and take it. Stop it. Just stop it. You don't want your games going over to the other platform. All of this, we are the world. We are the children. Stop it. We all want competition. We want to feel like this is exclusive to me. This is what you get when you come over here to this platform. I don't know when people started demonizing exclusive. This stuff is crazy to me. But yet PlayStation fans out there trying to damage control this, man, don't do it. You have seen the playbook already over on the Xbox side. And you see exactly where Xbox is right now. They got 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on doggone soil. They halfway done right now. I'm telling you, please study the playbook. PlayStation is doing the exact same thing. Hiroki Totoki, that brother Satya Nadella over there. That's who he is. All he cares about is the money, the bottom line. Darn the culture of what PlayStation is. Look, I'm trying to make money for me. I'm trying to make money for these shareholders. If that's what needs to be done, yeah, we got profits. We making a lot of money, yeah, but we can make more. We can always make more. And how we're going to do it? We're going to do it over there on the Switch, and we're going to do it on the Xbox. Y'all ready? Break. Man, I'm telling you, please remember everything that happened over on the Xbox side. We never thought, as PlayStation fans, we never thought that this would ever happen. This game is actually being developed by Nixxes. That's a first-party PlayStation studio that is porting this over to Xbox, which means, oh shucks, they actually have a dev kit for the Xbox. Man, oh man, this is that moment. This is that. It's going to start with this. These 4 games are going over to PlayStation. This is that moment for PlayStation. This is your 4-game moment. Now, you know, H-Divers 2 is coming on over. Hey, we need more players. We want you guys to come on into the fold. We want you guys to enjoy this so we can play as a community, have a great time. I'm telling you, man, listen.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
I'm telling you, don't fall for it. This is that moment. This is the crossroad. I'm telling you, it's spooky out here. Nothing is safe. As long as Hiroki Totoki is in there, the whole fabric of what PlayStation has been for over 20-something years is gonna poof. Is going to be absolutely obliterated with that man in there. We're not even gonna notice what PlayStation is in the next couple years. Just like we don't notice what Xbox is. It's a shell of itself. Don't want to compete. Oh man, it's not good to have other games exclusive to your platform. Everybody should be able to play. What? That's when we knew it was over. 2016, Quantum Break going over to PC. That's when we all knew, wait a minute. Now, I can't take credit for it. I didn't think it was going to be, that was the beginning of the end. But I did say, man, this is weird. I mean, why are you doing this? I mean, I thought we was having fun. I thought enough people was buying it over here. Why are you putting it over there? Same thing with PlayStation right now. I'm telling you, nothing is safe. Nothing. Believe me, and don't make excuses. Don't support it. I understand, man. PlayStation is so dope. Darn, they're dope. I mean, their games are so good, everything. But let's not make the same mistake twice. We saw what Xbox's fate was when the player base didn't say anything. They just went along for the ride. Everything is good, man. Everything is great. We're eating over here. Games is coming out, man. What are we complaining about? Maybe it's not good to have exclusives. Man, come on, man. God, dog, we got a blueprint. Xbox is the blueprint. Just remember, when you see things that look out of place, that don't follow the characteristics of what PlayStation has been over the last 20 plus years. Trust me, it's a reason. Hiroki Totoki. That brother's going to be a problem. I really feel like, man, things are really, really going to change over at PlayStation, and I fear it. Just from a gaming standpoint, as a fan, I fear what's coming next. I got to eat a lot of crow. Oh, man. And it sucks. I never thought this day would come. I mean, MLB, yeah, you could say that, but we already know that wasn't necessarily PlayStation's idea. MLB pretty much, they bullied them into that. Hey, either you get down or you lay down. All right, okay. We put it on Xbox. It's out of their control. They fully control this. I'm just curious to know, again, what are your thoughts? Again, will Hiroki Totoki ruin the PlayStation brand? Can't wait to hear from you. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it two different ways. Either email the show, and the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com, or you can call in and let your voice be heard at 667-284-9057. Oh, Sody! Is it the beginning of the end? God dog it. Anyway, I was your host, Keon Mitchell, and I want to thank you guys again for being here. Thank you. I'm so disgusted with Sony right now. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, before we wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the console. Man, it might not ever be about the command. Brother might switch to PC. Let them keep this stuff up, man. Shug, brother might be pushing a mouse and keyboard in a couple of years. I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens, man. But for now, it's not about the consoles. It's about the games. So until next, it might be next Wednesday, doggone it. Until next Wednesday, will we do it again? Until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.